There. Yes.
Okay, constituting reform, I'd like to call to order the Recreation and Parks Board meeting of the city of Port Lavaca to order. First item on our agenda is general discussion and clear statements from citizens. Any general discussion? Mark your calendar that our next meeting is scheduled for November 27th. And that is the day before Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'm sure that there's possibly people could be starting to travel that day, but I won't be. I might be, but for example, but I probably wouldn't be leaving town until after a Parks Board meeting anyway. Later that afternoon. Day before Thanksgiving, next board meeting. That's all I have for general discussion. Item 2. Approved minutes from the regular meeting held September 25th, 2024. Yes, I'll take it. In the second motion. And a second, all in favor? Moving on to item 3, receive parks and recreations operations and maintenance report from the Director of Public Works.
Okay, in your packet, we provided the first that shade structure for the plans for a shade structure bayfront for the splash pad.
It's on the.
And I don't know.
I don't know. It's on your computer.
Oh, okay. All right.
So any questions about that?
And then the total cost of that was within what we had budgeted for, right?
Yes. 63,000.
And I think we'd actually budgeted like 75 or something.
About $62,101.10.
So, I mean, it would be similar to the one that's at Lighthouse Beach, except it's a little smaller. Obviously, it's a smaller splash pad. The sides are 40 feet. But I assume we'll go blue like we did with the other one.
And this is at the bayfront, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the top splash pad.
And you're planning construction left or?
Well, we have to place the order.
So for next year, ma'am?
If we place the order now, realistically, it'll probably be in what, February, March-ish. And so the idea is to have it ready for next spring.
We have to take this out.
It was in the CIP. It's already been approved, so we just have to order it.
I guess I need to send this. Send it back to David.
Yeah.
Or you want-
No, you can get that going. Get a PO and everything.
Okay, and moving forward, I didn't have time to, didn't get it done in time to Lorena, so I printed out a copy and put it on your place, the monthly report for the parks. Much of this stuff is just general maintenance. There are a couple of things here to note. We had the National Night Out at the Bower, the Harbor Sportsman's Night Out, Ducks Unlimited, and Warriors Weekend, which were all fantastic events. They went exceptionally well. We've also removed a dead palm tree in front of the Bower building to improve the looks of it. We sent 2 employees to attend training to maintain the safety surfaces, the pour in place safety surfaces at the park. We put in a new engineered wood fiber beneath swing sets in the playscape at George Adams Park. And then we have the new CXT restroom installed at the skate park. I'm just waiting on electrical and concrete sidewalks. Which I hope to have done within this next 2 to 3 weeks.
Regardless of how it got here, I like having this in front of me. Just a general comment, I think I've heard several of the other members say this.
It's something we wanna continue doing, I just need to get my superintendent a little more, what's the word I'm looking for?
I would like to see it, but I'm not the only one here. Having this report as a pullout, are we generally in agreement, just kind of nod your head, I don't think it takes a formal. Looks like most everybody likes it.
Yeah,
Just
we'll
take that into consideration.
We'll have it from now on, I just gotta get Katie to be a little more punctual on getting it to me, so I can get it put on the agenda.
Okay.
Cause I don't like not having it on the agenda for you guys.
Well, it's really, yeah, it's part of your normal report,
Yeah.
for what you would talk about, right?
Yeah, and it covers some of the stuff that I forget,
Yes.
a lot happens every month.
Right, great, all right, I appreciate it, thank you. Anything else?
That concludes my report on that.
Oh, I was gonna mention, we have started, or Michael has started on painting crosswalk. I haven't been down there to see progress, but I know he's got it sketched out in the bayfront.
What's happened, because it looks empty to me.
Well, I mean, I met him down there and we've identified where it's exactly gonna go. He's done some some chalk sketching. And I know he was at the fair all last week, so he may not have actually gotten started with any painting. I haven't been down there, but he was planning on getting started here pretty quick if he hasn't already.
Wrote down there earlier, but I didn't see any obvious markings, they may be there, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't see them, so.
And this is at the bathroom, you guys, or where is it at?
No,
I
it's-
missed the meeting, I'm sorry.
It's the crosswalk as you enter into
gonna be
Bayfront
right.
Park.
The raised,
Take
yeah,
down the field
Uh-huh.
and just almost to the marina.
Uh-huh.
It's on that there's a concrete raised crosswalk. It's going, the 10 feet wide, yes, is the crosswalk, yes.
What did it say?
It's 4 fishtails. We had looked at that, you probably weren't here at the last, yeah.
Okay. Item 4. Is received monthly inspections report from the Public Works Department. I see that is included in the packet, so. Are there any highlights in that, or?
there was one. We've got, and some of the playscapes that aren't plastic, we've got some surface rust on them. So as the season slows down, I will send the guys out with some muriatic acid to clean the surface rust off of and touch up painting. Again, I'm still looking into options for the concrete ribbon curb around Clare Crossing. The playground next to the splash pad at Lighthouse Beach has some tears in the safety surface, which is one of the reasons why we sent them to training to repair it. And we're just waiting on the materials so they can get down there and do that.
Any questions? Comments? All righty, thank you. Moving on to item 5, receive update on park assignments from park board members. Let's start over with Dan.
Wilson Park was great, made his other pass again today, and, the only question I had was, you know, about the update on Gresham, but Wayne already touched bases on that.
Mhm.
Other than that, everything's good at Wilson Park from what I can see.
Kevin?
You answered the question on that.
Dina, do you have anything?
The, again, he addressed the concerns, that rubber pad on the clear. The weeds around the splash pad still have lots of sticker burrs, but the splash pad probably won't be being used much.
No, it's closed down for the year.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, Wayne, is there something we can do now to kind of do something about the sugar burst for next year? I mean, is there something we can be doing proactive, or it's just life? I don't know.
It's clover. If we go trying to treat it to kill it, then we're killing all the grass. It's not something we can just
clover's not just a broadhead, it's
do. What the herbicides that kill it are also detrimental to
kill the carpet.
carpet grass.
So, I mean, in reality, what we're looking at at some point, I guess, going in there and ripping out all that and putting in sod around the playscape, or around the splash pad, if we want to eliminate that as a problem.
You could, but the very next dry season we get, the clover's gonna come right.
Okay.
It lays dormant in the ground until we get a dry season and it takes over.
Okay.
Well, it's almost impossible to kill them, but I have a friend who's a master gardener, and he was telling me that just this past week, I was up in Rockdale, and he said, each one of those grass birds have 6 seeds inside of them, and they will last in the ground forever.
Yeah.
So,
They wait for dry seasons to germinate. When we have a drought or an incredibly dry season, like, you know, we've had a lot of rain this year, but nowhere near.
So this would be an opportunity to have a nice educational sign about grass burrs out there, and to warn people, wear your shoes when you're in this area, because not a whole lot we can do about it.
key to, getting ahead of it is never let that clover that produces them, bloom and produce the grass bird seed in the first place. And that's hard to do. And like in my yard, the first 3 or 4 mowings of the season, I have my lawn guy almost scout the yard to make sure that clover can't bloom.
The other side of it is it grows faster than regular grass, so. You know, once it dries out, if you get a little bit of moisture and those seeds are germinated, it's gonna sprout us quicker than your carpet grass or anything like that.
Yeah, I was suffering the pain of the grass birds this past week. P and I were out sawing down trees in a pasture where we had grass birds all around the cuff of our pants, and if you could accidentally grab onto them with your hands if you were picking up limbs and stuff that you had cut down, so those were not fun.
Yeah, recently I had a granddaughter out there at the splash pad, and she got into a sticker burr, and you would thought somebody had chopped one of her limbs off. Yeah, they were very badly, yeah. Yeah.
Side story is that, Velcro was invented because of those things though,
Yeah,
so. Anyway. Alrighty. Vehicles, I took a drive down through Bayfront and the park looks great. As a matter of fact, first off, you could tell that it had been recently mowed. Or it looked like it anyway. I didn't see any weeds popping up, and that's the only reason I had really had my yard mowed this week, just because the weeds were growing so much. The grass not so much because it's so dry. Weeds grow everywhere. And I was really surprised that just in kind of eyeballing across those open fields, there was very, very, very little in the way of any kind of litter out there either. I mean, I think I saw 3 or 4 pieces of litter out there. And, I know that's difficult to keep up with, if not impossible, but. So I thought it looked exceptionally good. And there were quite a few people out there today too. All righty, Alden?
City park looks good. I mean, it's clean, mowed, well, I don't know.
Not in need of a mowing.
No, not even anything, really. They fixed the potholes and everything's purple except for that dead tree, but I guess that's another story. But, I think I'd like something for my Christmas list already on Ashley Park, or that little park on the side. What do we call that little park on the side?
I think it's Ashley Field. Ashley
Field.
Field.
Little park there?
Mhm.
I'd like another night out there, but other than that, either that or trim down that tree, or that tree that's like.
Oh, you talking about where the playscape is or the football field? Okay. Oh, okay. I'll look at that and see. Okay. So is there a light? I'm trying to remember, is there a light out there and the trees just probably blocking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's blocking it, but it's like, what are you gonna do about the tree?
Yeah.
That's the only light out there.
Well, and talking about lights, I did have a request to look into putting another light at the basketball court at Wilson Park. So I was gonna get with AP and because I mean, George Adams, I'm sorry. Yes, George Adams. Yeah, George Adams. Because there's a light there, but same thing. There's a kind of tree there, but it's not really bright. I did go by there one night and it's not really bright. So I think we might need one on the other side too. But anyway, I hadn't even mentioned that to you. Somebody just mentioned that to me about a week ago. Well, this would be for at George Adams. That would be for the kids playing basketball.
That's the only time I ever seen it with kids, but daylight savings time is coming.
Yeah.
When is it? I don't know, trees are a problem. Then again, who knows, my nose it sleeps.
Thank you. Mary, anything for George Adams?
That's good.
And Greg, $5 sterling.
It's good. I just pass that out, once a week, go behind it. It looks good. The rest of them, thank you.
All right. Next one. Item 6, receive financial status report on the Parks Recreations Department. Any highlights that you would like to point out, Jerry, or what plan?
I
No,
don't.
Other than the detailed account listing for the Parks General Fund and the beach expenditures are in this packet.
Did
I
our
will
new budget
say-
year start October 1st?
Yes.
Mhm.
I will say that it is peaked up a little bit, but not nearly as much as we would have seen last year at this time. But RV rentals had fallen off drastic.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
RV rentals have fallen off.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a report for you last month and I was too big. We didn't get that same report this month, so we will do better and get that each month.
Did our prices go up way too high or what?
Yeah, or I will tell you, as I was told from one of the people that were staying there, you have priced yourself out of business.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll wait till summertime comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theoretically, our high season for that should be the winter, so.
Well, actually, with all the shutdowns that I'm hearing that are happening, it should be full. I mean,
We have a time limit, so nobody's
Yeah,
gonna
that's what I
want to come
know.
to us.
I know, 30 days or whatever, but still.
Well, it's 6 months for the upper.
Changed it to
We changed it to 2,
Yeah.
even for the upper
We
ones?
changed the upper, we
Oh,
only
I didn't,
changed
I forgot about that.
2 months.
Okay.
the-
Oh.
Maybe that's why.
That,
Okay.
that and the rates, but we were trying to get away from being a long-term contractor park
Yeah.
and be more of a tourist park. So our daily rates and weekly rates haven't changed. It's our monthly rates that went up, and those are the people who left.
I didn't.
That's a knee-jerk reaction.
But I think with that, we've been talking and looking at ways that we can improve advertising and promotions of the campground in our promotion of Port Lavaca.
This is keeping in mind that our normal clientele that we had prior to Harvey has not returned. And part of that is because the park was full of contractors, there was no place to be, so now the park's empty, so coming into the winter season, I hope to see it pick up.
So we're gonna do it like this for about a year and see what happens? Or 6 months, or what we're talking about?
Well, that was the idea, is to bring this monthly report to y'all, financial report of the campground. And then we'll just monitor it, and then we'll see at what, if we see no change or declining or whatever, then Parks Board can revisit the fees if they want.
How long has it been declining? 2 months? A month?
It's only been a couple months, I think, since we've had the new rates in.
June.
Yeah, and I think we had some that were still there on the old rates, because they still had they'd already had it's been a couple months since I think the last of those left and had not returned.
Shall we jump in the quarter? Quarter. The only thing about a quarter, in my opinion only, it's seasonal. You know? School starts.
Well, like I said, we'll look at this every month, and I apologize, we didn't have it in this packet. Last month was the first one we did. And to be honest with you, I forgot about it until you mentioned it, but my intention is have that same report every month so we can start monitoring this. Yes, that's what we had last month, and we'll just update it each month. Had the occupancy rates and other things, other statistics on the park.
Maybe that's the only income producing part we have. I mean, yeah, they rent the other ones, but.
Yeah.
It is the only income producing park. They don't rent the other parks.
We rent Wilson, do we not, for tournaments and stuff? They use it for free?
Yeah.
The Little League too?
Yes.
Yay, we're gonna say about that.
It is, it always has been, first come, first served.
For some reason, I thought they paid at least a little bit for the kids. So the soccer and everything is. All right, never mind.
Community service.
I know, it's, yeah, we do some services, yes.
It's part of the general fund, it can't make money, you'd have to move over to an enterprise fund like the beach fund in order to make money.
So are we still gonna put a gating thing at Lighthouse Beach?
Yes.
We're working on that. Okay, and, you know, I think the Winter Texans will probably still come. I don't think we priced ourselves out of commission there. I really don't.
Well,
Yeah,
if we're
that,
not
that
making-
wasn't my opinion, that was what I was told by one of the people.
Right.
Yeah.
saying.
If we're not making any money, shall we start now?
No, I mean, I don't think council's ready to revisit that till we get some more time, more time behind, more data behind any future decision. So
I
we just
agree.
need to monitor it.
And if it's the length of stay, I mean, we'll be able to tell whether it's the length of stay that's prohibiting or whether it's the contractor thing. Cause they're not gonna find any place cheaper. But it may be the 2-month thing. I didn't realize we had changed it from 6 to 2. For the back. I mean, I knew we did for the front.
Well, we'll just check it out, and see what happens.
Yeah, all the monthly stocks moved from 6 to 2 months.
And that was part of the negotiations and discussions we'd had with the public and the other RV park owners that came to that conclusion.
Which, by the way, are all full now.
So are you suggesting that we go back to 6?
No.
No.
No, I don't, we're not suggesting doing anything without, like I said, continued data.
Stay low because you're not a long-term
Oh,
stay.
okay, gotcha.
So that was the main complaint from the other local parks was that y'all are interfering with their business because y'all, we were allowing 6 months at a time for a lower rate, so they thought the city was competing with them,
That's true.
and I'm not.
Right.
Anything else on the subject of finance? Next item on the agenda number 7 is review the adopted 2024-2025 Parks Capital Improvement Plan.
Did a copy of that get put in the
Yeah.
packet? Cause I don't have that, but from,
So for the parks. And
65.
one of the things we've already mentioned is the shade structure at the bayfront splash pad is 75,000 is budgeted for it. The artwork on the raised crosswalk, we have 25,000 for that
well, but that's other things that,
and other things.
that I think, and we have started having some conversations with some other solar lighting companies to use some of that to get some lighting as we enter Bayfront. And that, I think what the plan that Wayne and I have, and I haven't really had a chance to sit down and talk to Wayne about this, but other than email, is as we enter the park on there on the right, to go ahead, I mean, one option is put wood bollards along the this pavement side of that sidewalk, and then put 2 to 3 solar lights or the higher lights behind the sidewalk to light that path. They do have some bollard lights, but they're not, traffic grade bollard lights, to where I don't know that we want to put those in lieu of the wood bollard lights, but that's kind of, or wood bollards. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of. We'd go ahead and put bollards in the pavement right in front of that sidewalk as you come in. And then we can, we're waiting on some pricing recommendations on then lighting that section of the sidewalk. And we're talking about that area before you start turning to the right, going down to the marina, just as you're entering the park.
Anyhow, I'm going to. I'll sit with Jody and we'll discuss that further and we'll get together a plan for the lighting and the bollards. I need to sit down with Tanya so we can get our old banners ordered. Then, we're gonna work on irrigating the park signs. So that we can do landscaping around them. And then do the same with Butterfly Park, we're gonna irrigate. And do some landscaping in that area to beautify that park a little more
So that's all that's scheduled for the 20.
for this year.
I mean, yeah, anything that's why I wanted you guys to see, this is what was approved and put in the budget.
General fund, but they're out for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, whatever's in this year's column.
Discussing this year's call because we don't have a whole lot, with the way the economy is going, we don't have a whole lot of faith in the pricing, so what's scheduled beyond this year is up for debate. Moving to, oh, that's it, I don't have anything for Lighthouse Beach this year. And then we working on irrigation at the Bower. And then if I can ever get contact back from the first souvenir coin press company that I reached out to for last year's budget went out of business. So now I'm looking for another company that will do the souvenir coin presses that aren't gonna break our budget.
As far as the entryway to Lighthouse Beach, that company, correct me if I'm wrong, the company was not on a purchasing cooperative, so we're trying to get another bid, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got another bid coming now. I'm waiting for a third company to get back to me. The problem I run into, there are no companies in the United States anymore that do this work. There's only 2 left in Canada. One of them I have a quote from, the other one I'm waiting for a quote from. And then the third company I got a hold of, which they take forever to email back, is out of India. So. This has been,
But yeah, by our procurement or purchasing policy, we have to have 3 bids. And so that's where, we're working to comply with the purchasing policy.
at the mercy of this third company, waiting on them to get me something.
Either a no bid or a quote, yeah.
And since they are so far removed from out of our country, there's no way that I would even recommend to award it to them, but. That concludes the CIP. Any questions?
Need more
Okay.
monies.
I can always use more money.
All things considered, we have a pretty liberal budget for parks.
Mhm.
I mean,
But it's important.
that's how city charter or ordinance, one or two, I'm not sure. It's a substantial percentage
And
of the budget.
And we view it as very important, you know, providing well-kept communities for your public. It doesn't make it a place where like to be in. So, in my opinion, that's worth every penny we budget for it.
Okay. Anything else on capital improvement? We need to talk about it a moment. Thank you. Item 8. Consider rescheduling the regular Recreation and Parks Board meeting schedule for Wednesday, December 25th, 2024 for another date since it falls on a scheduled city holiday, which is Christmas Day, by the way, so. Do you guys as a city folk have a recommendation? Because for me, it would be just simple to go to the prior Wednesday that we had before us for a regular meeting that month. Which is one of the reasons why we changed the date was because of some other
Right.
stuff, but
Well, for December, I don't have a problem with it, moving it to the prior Wednesday.
Yeah.
because that week's I'm gonna be gone anyway. Not the week we're rescheduling, but the week of Christmas, I'm gonna be gone. That's when I take my vacation.
That'd be fine. Yeah, that'd be fine.
I move we reschedule to the week prior.
The 18th.
Whatever, bring it down.
So,
No, you have to be here. Today's mine and I'm here.
are you making a motion that we, schedule this December meeting for December the 18th?
I did.
Okay. All in favor? Consider public complaints regarding dogs on the wetlands walkway at Lighthouse Beach and consider amending the parks rules to address concerns.
So what's the complaint?
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Regarding dogs are everywhere.
There's been some complaints about aggressive dogs on people walking their dogs, and dogs being aggressive on the bird walk.
So we don't want them walking out there no more?
No, we leave a mess, step on.
I understand that.
We
And
don't,
people are provided bags and stations and everything
But they don't care. You
Right.
step on it, you gotta keep walking, they gotta take your shoes off, walking in the water. It's a mess. It's really ugly. And people don't
That's
care.
right. And you're right, that's it. People don't care.
we,
So we're gonna, have dogs not in the parks? I mean, how are we gonna fix the problem?
we don't allow them on.
Time at the beginning and pick them up when you're way out.
Seriously.
No, we don't allow them on the beach anyway.
The live ones.
Yes. That's where the bird walk's at, is coming off the beach.
They're going on the other direction. I'm sure they wouldn't break the rules and walk the dog on the beach in the first place.
But the complaint has been is people's dogs have been aggressive towards other people walking on the boardwalk or towards people.
Isn't that the dog owner's responsibility and call the cops?
But they, at the Lighthouse Beach, they complained to the
The council.
police department. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
they complained to the lady out there, I'm sorry, is her name Jennifer, Stephanie, what's her name, Jennifer? Did they complain to her?
Yes.
Can she call the police? I mean, it's a complaint,
But-
right?
They can't do anything because we don't have any rules against them being on the bird walk.
So what kind of rule do we
You
want
need
to
an
implement?
ordinance.
We just need a
In order to make
recommendation
it
to
enforceable.
change the rules to where they're not allowed on the bird walk.
That's it.
That's it.
But-
We're
But
not,
the complaint is not about the bird poop, the complaint is about, the dog poop, the complaint is about a dog that's being aggressive.
and it's more than one.
And
Oh, it's the same one?
No,
is the owner not with this dog?
yeah, the owner's with it, but it's still, if we change the rule and stop it from happening altogether, then when we do call law enforcement, they have teeth to ask them to leave or issue citations or whatever. they do. As it stands currently, the only thing they can do is, because they're not allowed on the beach, they can cite them if they have them on the beach, but they can't do nothing.
Well, I think, I'm just saying that the only difference really between the walkway and being on any of the trails, and which I don't think we want to, prohibit dogs in the park necessarily, right? The only difference I see in those two situations is that when you're on the walkway, you're confined. If the dog gets aggressive, there's nowhere to go. Really, you're right there. You got two fences. You can go one back up or whatever. Whereas when you're on the trail elsewhere in the park, you can get out of the way. If the dog's getting after you, you can run from one side or the other. It's just, you're more confined when you're walkway. So I'm not advocating one way or another. I'm just saying that would be the only difference.
Minimal space that you have on the
Right.
board. We could ask city council to put an ordinance, no dogs allowed on the board.
Exactly. That is what Wayne is saying. That's what Wayne's saying. Yes.
Police officer cannot do anything when they're walking through there because there's not an enforceable
Correct.
code on it to do that. So the guy's gonna go in and says, take your dog home, that's it. They're gone. nothing to enforce.
Yeah, so the only thing we're asking is for a rule change to prohibit dogs on the bird walk, same as we do the beach. Not from going to the parks. I mean, they're still welcome to come to the parks. We got dog stations everywhere.
And one thing to think about is, you know, if you're walking the loop, the trail, there is a shortcut, you know, to where you go along the splash pad to where you can still do a loop without going on the bird walk.
And even with a splash pad and a guy with a dog, you have kids that are running around, they're running with that dog. So, you know, there's a danger there always. If the splash pad is on, the kids are full, kids are running, and the guy with the dog, and I've been there when the guy grabs the dog by the leash. But that dog is gonna get away because he wants to get it whatever he wants. So it's hard to control. So by prohibiting the dogs, then yeah, you've got something.
But I don't know that we want to prohibit them in the park altogether.
Punish every dog owner because of a couple of bad dog owners. You know, again, we get into the.
I mean, they have to be on a leash and they, right.
It's like,
Yeah,
act right, well, we have to legislate people to act right.
all we're asking is to change the rule on the bird walk, same as we have for the beach.
Well, that one's touchy because, I mean, I understand if you own a dog, but how about if it's a wild dog that's up and running around with somebody down? Or you're out there on the campsite and the dog just takes off.
See,
Well, they have to be on a leash. Yeah, that's we already regulate that.
You have a dog that's considered a dog for the handy.
Yeah, service dog.
That.
That's an exception, yes.
You can go wherever they gotta go.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Service dogs would be able to go regardless. Yeah.
I had a person come into the football game with a dog in a baby carriage covered up like a baby. And then I heard him whining. I said, that's not a baby. I said, ma'am, I need to look in your carriage. That's my kid. I said, let me look, please. I want to see the kid. What does he look like? And I opened it up. It's the dog. I said, take the dog out of here. Then she said, it's my service dog. I said, right, you got it covered like that.
Try to pull a fast one on you.
I had fun. Well,
Anyways, if you're gonna do it on the boardwalk, or we're gonna do it in a boardwalks, I know we don't have confined boardwalks, but we do have. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, you know,
right, I understand that. But what about the
That's
ones
what I
like
would
in the
do.
lighthouse? I mean,
Right here at the marina, beautiful.
yes,
So the Lighthouse Beach bird walk is the only one that we have that is confined. So this is the only one we're asking this for. Because your only options there being confined on that boardwalk is over one side into the water or over the other side into the wetlands, and we don't want anybody in wetlands.
what do you want? You wanted to have that ordinance, you can put it on the sign?
Well,
We're asking for a recommendation to take the council to change the rule so there's no dogs allowed.
I moved the part of the park board that we, as city council, put an ordinance against all dogs in the boardwalk, saying that confined space for the safety of our citizens.
I second.
Beach trip.
Okay, we think of open up a can of worms when it comes to service animals.
no, I mean, that would be except service animals that would not apply.
By federal law, service
We're
animal
not
law
talking
supersedes.
about emotional support animals.
Just-
We're talking about
Those are not
actual.
legal.
Legally termed service animals, whatever the legal terms are.
Federal law supersedes all of
You cannot ask for it, but they should have a license. Or a paper that's-
But usually around their collar.
Yeah.
Something like that, says service animal.
But you can't ask for it. If the guy says he's service animal, you're stuck.
You can ask for it.
No, it
You
falls
know?
on,
It
falls
just-
on the disability.
He recommended I get one. So I let my old lady go and come here.
Great.
What it read, right? But anyway,
It's a.
so. Now you got it.
No, you already did.
Oh, yeah.
So at least me to everybody.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry.
at the bayfront, there's a spread out there that has the fencing.
All in favor?
But that's what I was referring to, but he said it's not.
That has the what?
The bayfront, you know, when you're right there by the marina right there, there's that rail and then, but it's open, so I.
It's open on one side, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Still,
true.
you're not gonna
Walk
jump in
in,
the
you
water.
can find. You have an escape.
Yeah, you can step out or wait or whatever. I did too.
No, it's only on one side. There's,
Oh.
right.
So then it's easy. Maybe check.
Okay,
Right, I make a-
that completes the agenda. May I have a motion that we adjourn? We have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Have a second, all in favor? Good meeting, folks.